For these aspiring motocross pros, everything is on the line. A one-week event that will determine their fate and potentially establish young heroes as future superstars of the sport. But to get there, they must beat the nation's best and earn their shot at glory. Once a year, the eyes of the professional motocross world focus on this, an amateur race. It's the 36th annual Rocky Mountain ATVMC AMA Amateur National Motocross Championship from Loretta Lynn Ranch, presented by Lucas Oil. Hello, everyone. I'm Jason Wygant, joined by former champion of the event, Jimmy Albertson. And this is where tomorrow's motocross superstars make their name. This is the pressure cooker. You have 1 week basically to make it or break it as a potential professional motocross rider.
It really is. You know, growing up, coming to the ranch, I didn't start coming here till late. I think I was 13 the first year coming here, and I actually won it the first year here at the ranch that I came. And that was one of my best memories growing up racing. I can still look back and visually see that. Also, here at the ranch, some of my worst memories I've ever had. Blowing championships in the third moto, feeling like you had stuff in the bag, and just not being able to put it away. But this event, it draws the best riders around the country, not just the country, but around the world. This is just that next step towards professional racing for these guys, and that's where they want to end up. These guys want to make it to the professional ranks and do what they love for a living.
And one rider that a lot of people are talking about maybe being able to do that is Justin Cooper, who's a front runner for the coveted AMA Nicky Hayden Motocross Horizon Award that's handed out to the best high-level amateur at the end of the week. Here's Justin Cooper.
Well, basically my dad got into me when I was about 4. He got me into the sport because he used to race. He never did anything too much, but he loved it, so he figured he'd give me a shot at it. And I mean, I love what I do, and I wouldn't want to do anything else. This year has been an important year for me. I knew it was my time to shine, and I just figured it was my year. So I put my head down and trained as hard as I could and prepared as well as I could. And I've had a lot of success this year so far, and I'm just trying to keep the ball rolling in every race, take it one moto at a time. And my goals for this week are to win every moto and go out on top, for sure.
Well, let's see if he can do it. This is open pro sport, probably the fastest class here all week. There are 36 classes that compete, all ages, all bike sizes, and every class runs 3 motos, so you have to be consistent. Here's the Red Bull starting gate, and we are underway here at Loretta Lynn Ranch. A terrible start for one rider, and a good one for the Yamaha man. Wilson Fleming's going to grab the whole shot. He's back here at Loretta's. He's an A rider last year, still trying to make a name for himself. But I think that's Cooper right there, Jimmy, with him.
Cooper, that's bad news when you see him come out of the gate hot, because he has been on fire this week at Loretta's, just being fast in practice and coming out charging. So, yeah, Justin Cooper right in the lead. Chase Pennington right up there in second on the Yamaha as well. As they go through these 10 commandments, the track this week, has been completely awesome, and these guys are doing such a killer job. So many lines, but we'll see if Pennington can hunt down Cooper.
It looks like he's trying to do this here. He's hanging right with Cooper, and now that Cooper has kind of become the marked man that everyone is gunning for, this is Pennington, maybe a career maker if you could beat this guy, and right now he's going for it.
I didn't have much of an opportunity to ever watch Justin Cooper ride up until watching him ride practice coming into this event. And I was so impressed on his bike skill and the way he rides and how he uses his leg, his body. Just unbelievable. Here's a replay of the whole shot. Take us through it.
Yeah, Fleming is going to get it here on the inside, but Cooper there in the middle. This is really interesting how this section works. We often see a rider get the whole shot, and then by the time they're out of the trees, someone else passes them. There's a lot of moves that happen back there.
There is. You know, that's what happens when you're coming out of the gate and there's a switchback like that. Obviously, you're going to set yourself up. It's going to come into the inside, but they've done a great job putting rollers on the inside, so where it switches everything up. So even if you come in first, there's a lot of chaos that can happen in that second turn.
We mentioned the 3-moto format here at Loretta's as you're watching a good battle back there. Jair Mitchell and Joey Crown. That's the green bike is Crown, and Mitchell right behind him in 5th. The interesting thing about the 3-moto format, we race it throughout the week. So you might have a race on a Tuesday and a race on a Thursday, and by then the track and the lines are totally different.
Yeah, and also on this open class, it used to be if you were in the 450, as we see Pennington trying to put the move on Justin Cooper, who has all the momentum coming into this race.
Well, as I said, this could be a career maker. Now that Cooper has got the guy with the hype, what would this mean for Pennington if you can go out here and beat him?
It's huge. You know, this is the biggest stage in amateur motocross. If you're going to have a good race, it's this one. There's a lot of other amateur nationals, and when I was younger, I had a great year my final year. Won a lot of championships, and I bonked at Loretta's, and that's all that mattered. You know, so all those got thrown out the window. So if you don't do well at this race, it's very hard for you to make that transitioning into pros. These guys right here, guys like Jace Pennington, this is an important race for him to try to get up there and show what he has against Justin Cooper.
Yeah, he's doing it. He has hung with him now for a couple of laps. We're into the sand beach section, which is just going to get rougher and rougher, and Pennington is looking for an area to make a pass.
Just like how he stayed light in that sand coming over. You see the bike just kind of skimming across the bumps. He's riding really well right now, but we got to watch out. When you're a guy like Jace Pennington, you all of a sudden, you ride a couple laps and you realize like, oh my gosh, this might be actually possible. I might be able to beat him, and then you start getting in your own head. So we'll see if he can't keep that mental focus and latch onto the back of Cooper and not let him get away.
So confidence start to gain it as the race goes on.
You know what? Sometimes blind confidence is better.
Okay.
When you don't even believe what you're doing, and then as soon as that thought in your head comes like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't be up here. Maybe I shouldn't be riding this good. That's when it starts to unravel. But as we're looking at Joey Crown there on the 35, Enzo Lopes, yes,
yep.
as well. Another thing about this open class is it used to always be if you had the opportunity to ride a 252 stroke back in my day, or a 450, the bigger bike, you rode it. Now these 250Fs are so fast and these tracks are so rutted technical, a lot of these guys have the option to ride the 450, but they choose to ride the 250 because these bikes are still powerful enough. They're more nimble, lighter to move them around for these younger guys coming out of the amateur range.
Yeah, so a big mix, maybe give up something off the start, but if you're Crown here moving forward, it's working for you. And Crown has the Kawasaki Team Green ride. That is coveted, but he does not have a guaranteed deal to be a pro with Kawasaki next year. So there is pressure on that green number 35 to get up here and challenge the guys up front, Pennington and Cooper. And also watch that orange KTM of Mitchell Falk. Bad start, and the way these starts work in the first moto at Loretta's, it is a random draw the gate picks. So sometimes, and Crown goes down. Falk's gonna pick up 2 spots.
Crown is down. You know, he's one of those guys who's been in this A class for a while, chose not to make a move into the pros. So this is kind of, I'm guessing, is going to be his final year. Really hard seeing him go down in the opening pro moto. It's going to be tough.
All right, so these guys got to ratchet it back forward. Joey Crown, can he pick it back up? Justin Cooper starting to get away, and battles brewing throughout the top 5. Stay with us. The battles are heating up. The Amateur National Motocross Championship is presented by Rocky Mountain ATVMC. Get ready. And by Lucas Oil. Made in America, sold to the world. Big battles here. This is Open Pro Sport. The fastest amateur motocross racers in the world right now. Enzo Lopes in the 16, coming out of South America. Had a great career earlier as an amateur, then fell off the radar for a few years. He is back with a vengeance this year, battling it out with Jair Mitchell, who comes out of Bermuda. So even though this is America's Amateur National Championship, riders from all over the world know they've got to be here to get discovered. And what a battle between these two. Lopes to the inside. Got it.
Yes, Enzo Lopes, he's one of those riders, you know, you mentioned him being from South America. There's a lot of guys who have came out of that, and they're so used to riding these hard-packed, just red clay, high-speed tracks that a track like Loretta's that's dug deep, dirt's super moist, the speeds are a lot lower. It's very tough for guys like that. So I'm actually surprised he's doing very well on this track, but this is not, I would guess that this is not his style of track.
Pretty impressive then, considering he can take us through these passes, and he does it in that soft terrain. Just gets to the inside there of Mitchell and makes it happen, but those ruts, they got those little hooks in them. They look good, but the guys are bouncing around big time. Talk about how that all works.
Speaking of the KTM guy, Mitchell Falk, he's part of that TLD crew, that farm team they have coming up. I know there's probably a lot of pressure on him, this kid, and that's what's crazy about nowadays amateurs compared to I hate to be the guy who says back in my day, but back in my day, there was guys that they didn't have rides coming out. Like literally, you would get signed the day after Loretta's if you did well.
Look at Lopes. He just got around Falk. So Falk, yes, he's got the locked-in pro deal with KTM. Lopes is not impressed by that. He's trying to show what he has, and he has gotten around Falk. Falk started pretty far back in this moto, but Lopes even further back. Now all the way up to second. Give him a start. Maybe he could run with our leader, Justin Cooper.
And that's what I'm talking about happens. Like, you know, I bet you right now KTM's looking going, man, he looks awfully good, but we've already got this guy, you know? Like, and we saw some musical chair stuff happen over at the Star Racing Rock River camp. So let's run a little replay of this pass that Enzo Lopes put on Mitchell Falk, the other KTM rider. As he comes over that single, you can tell he just lays off the brakes a little bit, carries good momentum through the rut. Mitchell Falk all the way out there in the dry stuff and that hard packed, no ruts. Guarantee it's because maybe he's getting a little arm pump, whatever. He doesn't want to have to deal with the ruts, the fast line. He's taking more of the easier stuff right now. But if you want to be up front and charging forward, you got to be hitting the nasty lines, stuff that you're going to gain speed these tenths of a second, and you can't be holding up like that.
Another rider to watch. You see Joey Crown in that green machine. He was up front earlier and crashed. He's fifth. But Jake Masterpool, the yellow Suzuki, terrible starts for him. He's a rider that a lot of people are talking about. Great talent and great personality, very popular guy, but we haven't seen him at a lot of the other amateur races this year. Kind of a mystery of what he's going to bring in this event, and now late in this moto, bringing some heat. Great move.
Yeah, I mean, if your name's Masterpool, you can most likely ride a dirt bike, right? That comes from a family, all of his brothers, completely awesome on a bike. You know, we have Ty Masterpool out here this week that's doing incredible.
Yep.
But anyways, he's a taller guy. He's a big kid. I mean, I'm guessing he's probably 185, 190 at least. So we don't see him on the mini bike. All he is in the 450. So this guy right here, he's out there just doing an open pro sport. Really doesn't have any other classes to ride other than that. Almost reminds me of a new Tyler Bowers or a kid like that coming up who was just too big to be on the 250.
Okay, so the problem is in the three moto format, obviously every moto counts for the overall. So these guys are shuffling. You turn a fifth into a third late in this one. That could make all the difference at the end of the week when we count all the scores. So right now it's Pennington trying to hold off Masterpool and Crown trying to get Masterpool back. And it is late in this one, so this is clutch. This could change everything right here if Masterpool can make the pass.
It's so crazy how we saw Pennington in the open and we thought he was going to get Cooper. And now it looks like he's about to get swallowed up by a couple guys, just having Masterpool make the move on him there. But Cooper out front, cruising around, feet on the pegs.
Wow.
Just effortless.
Yeah, and he had that pressure that you mentioned at the beginning of the moto, but that's what has been impressing people. It doesn't seem like that affects him very much. He just kept his pace and eventually rolled away, and Justin Cooper is going to get the first moto win here in Open Pro Sport. Everybody else battling hard behind him. We'll wait to see who's able to come through for that second place spot. Lopes, remember, put in a good charge, and he gets it. And Masterpool and Crown do get Pennington there on this final lap, so that will keep them in contention for the overall. We'll have more Open Pro Sport later, but now we're going to put the spotlight on the young female racers in motocross. Stay tuned. Back here at Loretta Lynn Ranch, the Open Pro class waiting for their second moto, but let's get to know one of the top riders in another class.
Well, my dad actually street biked, and I just jumped on one of his bikes he used to ride, and just ever since then I just wanted to ride. He took me to my first race, and ever since my first race I won, and ever since then I just decided this is what I wanted to do. Well, I really want to try to make it in men's, and I know I'm not the only one that can do it since there's not many girls doing it. There's a lot of girls coming up that can do it, and I just want to push the women's sport and make it really bigger because it's not that well right now, and I just want the sport to grow with me or without me. My goals are to win 2 championships. Unfortunately, in the women's, I've had some kind of bad luck. I had my back break in the second moto, but we're still in the championship contingency, and I can still win 2 championships. In the girls 11 to 16, I went 1-1, so we're looking really good for the third moto. I'd be the most winningest female actually at the ranch, and that would be huge for me.
And Canfield sitting on 1-1 moto scores coming into this third race. Trying to lock it down, battling it out with their longtime rival, Jordan Jarvis. Those two are usually duking it out for championships, including for this one a year ago. But Jarvis, a couple early crashes this week, putting Canfield in control. Up front early, the lucky 13 out of Georgia, Corey Steed, who's leading through this section called the 10 Commandments, and you can see how muddy the track is at this stage in the game.
Oh man, those 10 Commandments, they get so greasy when water is on them. It's one of the more hard-packed sections of track. They don't put stuff on. Well, who do we got here trying to sneak up the
That's
inside?
Canfield
Allred
making moves, yeah. So she gets around Taylor Allred up to second. Allred going to try to fight back. Woohoo!
You know what? When you're in a mud race, it is so important just to keep the lead and keep roosting the other person behind you, because eventually they'll run out of Terrace and give up. But looks like
Canfield's got the line, yeah, on the inside, battling it out here with Taylor Allred. Canfield's got it, and there is Jordan Jarvis. That's Canfield's rival up to third, so it's first and third for them. Taylor Allred trying to be the spoiler in this championship battle. Meanwhile, the bike is smoking for Canfield, but it's been doing that the whole race.
You know, a lot of the times you get in those back sections in the trees, they clutch it a lot. It's your bike momentum is down. But it looks like Allred's kind of, yes, she's going to make a little bit of a drive, try to get up on the inside.
And we have lost Jarvis from third. She has gone down. So Allred not messing around. The big hype on Canfield and Jarvis. She doesn't care about that. She's going for the lead, and she has it.
The mud is the great equalizer of motocross. These guys out here, like you said, that was the big talk. And now we have Taylor Allred on that KTM coming in here. Yeah, she might have been out front early getting past, but now no expectations. She's making her way to the front now.
Now this is the third and championship deciding moto. Canfield just needs to get a solid run, but that bike is getting worse and worse, and she's off the track. It's done. Canfield had the title in her grasp. Her bike blows up. Jarvis had a bunch of crashes in the first two motos, still pulled out a pair of thirds. She's gone down in this one, and Taylor Allred is going to make it happen. Steed is going to win the moto, and Allred's going to go 2-2-2 in her 3 races. Heartbreak for Canfield with the bike problems. Heartbreak for Jarvis with crashes. Allred shocked herself to have won it.
I didn't find out till I got off the finish line into impound, and Mike from Fly told me, and I was just so excited. I knew Corey Steed was leading. I knew I was in second, so I'm not sure. I didn't know what my overall position was, so I just tried to ride smart and smooth. So it means so much. I worked so hard, and I'm so happy I got it.
Jimmy, you've been there. The heartbreak of Loretta's, but in the end, it is a treasure for someone else. And that's going to be huge to the career of Taylor Allred. We're back here for our second moto of Open Pro Sport. Masterpool in that very extreme inside gate. He's going to get squeezed off. Not going to work for him. Justin Cooper, a good start here. And wow, what a pile up. Luckily, everybody okay. It's a lot of riders down.
Yeah, everybody hopping right back up on their bike, though. That's always good to see. But Justin Cooper, another great start. Bad news for everybody else, right?
Yep.
This guy has been on fire so far this week, but look who on that Suzuki, Jake Masterpool.
He made it work.
Yeah, he did. He was way back in the field in Moto number 1 and charged through. So let's see if he can have anything for Justin Cooper in Moto number 2.
And we'll see this start again. There's Masterpool on the extreme inside, just threading the needle. But what happens out here on the outside?
You know, on the outside, it's obviously going to set you up for the inside in the next corner, but that's the risk you got to take. If you don't get that jump, everyone starts pushing into you. We saw Masterpool on the inside, sneaking the inside. It's a safer bet going into the inside, but a lot of times it doesn't pay off.
No, so now he's in third. Jair Mitchell out of Bermuda is in second. Masterpool right behind him. And Justin Cooper starting to get away. I think that might be Falk back there in fourth. Yes, it is. And he's going to challenge Masterpool. So Falk did not have the first moto he wanted. Completely different weather and track conditions this time. And let's see if it changes the results. Falk is now on the offensive on that orange KTM.
That's another thing to look at. A lot of the guys getting the good starts on here are the 450 riders, the 250 guys like Falk riding that KTM 250. He's battling it out with Masterpool on the 450, but difference between weight and power, the bikes probably aren't too much different, you know, and Masterpool trying to make it work. We know he is just a complete bulldog bruiser when it comes to coming to the pack, ruts, making moves, and he is trying to make the move back, and he does.
Battle. Masterpool and Falk, and then they've got Mitchell right in front of them. Mitchell bobbles, and now Masterpool's got a shot at second place. Some twisties through the trees here, and they set up these rollers on the inside to split the lines up, and it pays off for Masterpool.
It's crazy. You watch them go into that section. They can be bike lengths behind, but the difference between the rollers on the inside and outside, it makes for incredible racing. Oh, no.
Masterpool, I don't know how he saved that. He did not go down. It didn't even stall the line.
Didn't even stall out. That's great.
but he lost the 2 positions he worked so hard to get. Now it's Falk's turn to go after Jair Mitchell, and he makes it happen. So Mitchell Falk up to second. That's some fantastic racing.
Like I was saying, he's just kind of like a bulldog, a strong kid, a normal guy, say a Falk or one of the weaker guys in this bobble. As we're doing the replay right now, this would have been over, but he just grips onto it tight, holds himself, doesn't even let his knees touch the ground, bike stall, keeps the clutch pulled in, and a great move by Masterpool.
That was full side saddle, but because of that mistake, here comes the cavalry. We got a battle on our hands. That's the 35 of Crown moving forward. Pennington's in the mix on that number 31. 13 is Miguel Cordovez battling it out with Joey Crown. Crown was up front in the first moto. He had a crash. It's all about consistency out here. Crown airing out the triple and moving forward. But man, is there a thick pack of riders to get through. This class is pretty darn stacked.
Yeah, there is for sure. And you see Jace Pennington in the first moto having that great start coming out there. Now having a worse start, I feel like he's riding better now.
It's a real mental game out here with so much pressure on the line. This is the National Motocross Championship for amateurs. The battle is on right now for third place. Jair Mitchell on the 96 out of Bermuda, and the Texan, Jake Masterpool, trying to make names for themselves. Masterpool had a huge mistake and a near crash earlier. He has recovered. He makes the pass. He's up to third. Mitchell Falk is second, and Justin Cooper, who has become the star of this event, is your leader. And if you're Jair Mitchell, you have more company to worry about. Masterpool's gotten around him. There's 2 other riders trying to get by him as well. Pennington there on the outside and Joey Crown on the inside. Great battling. These guys know you want to get in that top 3. That's where you get to go to the podium and thank the sponsors. And nice move by Pennington on Mitchell.
You know, that's the thing. If you're Mitchell right now, in this fast group of riders, you're either going forward or you're going backwards. So you better set your sights back on Pennington, as we see Crown making the move now. So right now you got to decide whether or not you're going forward or backwards. And sometimes the feeling's not there. You just can't push it. So we'll see if he can't rebound a little bit on this, latch on to Crown, and minimize damage in this moto.
Jimmy, these are 20-minute motos, and the track is rougher, so they're longer races on a rougher track than most of these riders are used to. But how much is fitness and how much is just the mental game? The pressure, things start unraveling, and it really affects the riding.
It's a lot, but we have Masterpool right now coming in. He just kind of pre-hopped over that single, laid himself right into that inside rut. You see, as he hit the braking button coming in, leg out, he's got really, really good technique. They do a lot of good things down there at the Masterpool farm. Really working on technique. I love that. But speaking of technique, Justin Cooper on fire, making it look effortless this week.
Second place is Falk, and Masterpool is back after making those moves. Had the mistake, made some passes, get back to third. He's going to battle with Falk again, and Joey Crown is right there as well. So a 3-rider battle for second.
It's a shame that that mistake off the back it seemed like it rattled him more than anything. He didn't lose much time, but that's all it takes as a rider's mentality, is just to go out there and feel like, man, you're just bobbled up and you gotta regroup and collect yourself. And he has made the move on Mitchell Falk now.
Absolutely.
And up into second place. But if he could have just started riding like that off the bat, then we wouldn't even be in this situation, maybe be up battling with Justin Cooper.
And now Crown trying to take advantage. So Falk started about 5th, moved to 2nd, moved forward. Now he's going back as Crown has picked up the pace. And a lot of the line here, because Crown is in an audition stage. He is trying to prove to these pro teams that he deserves a professional ride coming out of the amateur ranks. And if you make the move on Falk, get third in this moto, that might say something.
He's trying to sneak that inside line right there. It is crazy, all the runs. Oh, side jumps off the track. Maybe take a little breather right now in the fire lane. And trying to get reset on to Mitchell Falk. And he's coming down the inside right now. I feel like Mitchell Falk right now, he is on the defense. Even though Crown going off the track right there, he's still pushing forward. I think we're going to see a pass soon.
Yeah, he has reset himself very quickly and is all over that number 62. Masterpool starting to get away, and Justin Cooper, who is becoming the star of this week, pulling away again up front. Crown going to take another shot at Falk. Crown out of Michigan. Oh, and that didn't take long.
That was the exact same move that Masterpool put on earlier, except he got up the inside. I think Crown was thinking he had the inside protected, which he did, but guess what? Falk sneaking in from the outside what a great move, but this is a little mistake from Crown. He seat bounced it. You can see he kind of wheel spun a little bit before. He's actually very lucky he landed off the side of the jump, because if he would have been on the track, I think he would have cased that jump, went straight into the ruts.
And there's the pass. You mentioned the inside was covered. Falk was trying to do the right thing. Crown just said, I'll go around the outside. This makes it happen. Masterpool second. And that is Crown actually right there with him. So Crown just keeps on charging. It's hard to figure who is the stronger man. Masterpool has made a lot of passes to get here, but Crown has made even more.
The track is just looking so rough right now, and Crown being on that 250 compared to Masterpool in the 450 might be a little bit easier for him to navigate as he makes a move up the inside.
I think he's got him. Joey Crown catching fire here down the stretch. So now another rider, we could say, if he had just started with Justin Cooper, maybe he could battle it.
It's so crazy, though. When you start out slower and you build your momentum up into the race, it's really easy to get into that pace, that flow. The good guys can go right off the bat, wide open, as fast as they're going to be all moto and maintain that pace, and that's the difference. But he just bulldogs down the inside through the sand rollers and gets up there, and really at that point, if you're Masterpool, you don't have anything to do. You know, like, he's going to shut you down over the roller, and you've made the pass stick.
Must be a problem here for Falk. He has gone backwards, and Jordan Bailey, first sighting of him on that white Husqvarna, and also Challen Tennant. These are two highly touted amateurs. They've had rough goes of it so far this week. So Jordan Bailey, who was an outstanding rider in the B ranks a year ago, now making it happen as an A rider, but he's expected to be all the way to the front. All three of these riders, this is not the result they're looking for. Yeah.
or on teams, you know, it's just crazy. You never know at a young age when somebody's just going to come out of nowhere, like a Justin Cooper, a guy who did not ride much during the winter, you know, never took it completely serious. I believe he's from Long Island, where there's absolutely no dirt bike riding up there. And now it's working out for him. Maybe he's got that passion, as we see Challen Tennant going after Falk. And Falk is just having a rough run in this Moto number 2.
Wow, he was in second place just a few laps ago, and Tennant is going to put him another spot down. So that would be 7th, as Bailey is right in front of them. Let's see if Tennant can make the pass stick. Falk's still fighting.
I like to see that out of riders. You know, he might have been just passed by about 5 guys, but at least he's just not going to lay down. He's going to try his hardest. So good riding by Mitchell Falk. Even it looks like he's a little bit tired. You can tell the body language. You know, he's starting to wear down, because it is hot here in Tennessee this time of year. It's late in the day here at Loretta. The track is completely beat, and Jordan Bailey showing us how good those outside lines can work once the track's packed down, the inside ruts are choppy, and carving through a couple guys, getting himself set up on the inside 10 commandments. But speaking of commanding.
Yeah, Justin Cooper in command again. And very interesting, coming into this week, it was Challen Tennant who had the, we thought, locked-in deal with Star Racing and Factory Yamaha. Now we hear his ride might be up in jeopardy, because Justin Cooper keeps on winning, and now he's the man that Yamaha and the Star Racing team owner Bobby Regan are looking for to be a potential pro future superstar. Crown, a great run through the pack for second, and Pennington recovers for third in this second moto. We come back, a family with racing in its heart. High above Loretta Lynn's ranch, looking down at what is called the world's greatest motocross vacation, the Amateur National Motocross Championship. And it's all about family.
It's a gathering. It's wonderful to get all these kids together, families. It's not just the kids, the families come together, so it's a wonderful experience.
The goal, honestly, to come to Loretta's is just come and have some fun and do some racing. I'm looking forward to the pro ranks, and this is just one of those races I'm coming to. It's going to be my last year. Just coming out here to have some fun and show them my skills and show them how hard I've been working, and looking forward to the future.
Just kind of try and ride my best and just let the chips fall where they do, and just hopefully come out there in a good spot. It's awesome having an older brother for racing. It's definitely something to look up to, and just try and ride as good as he does.
shoot, whenever I was his age, I was just around at the track playing with my friends, riding around. To be honest with you, I didn't even care. I was just around having fun.
The Masterpools have a background in ski racing, but came to Loretta's for their eldest son, Jesse.
Jesse, our oldest boy, decided this is what he loved to do and wanted to do. So we did that, and he traveled the globe and won national championships and really loved what he was doing.
But all of that talent and all that love couldn't predict the outcome of what appeared to be a routine crash at a different event.
But basically, he passed. He passed. It was not a traumatic injury, but because of it, he did pass, and it was very difficult.
After taking some time off to reflect, Ty and Jake decided to return to racing. It's the sport where they had already grown their branches.
And it really made me think, like, why am I doing this sport? And yeah, I mean, I just got to thinking, and I was like, I have the opportunity to do the most fun sport. I mean, like, the best sport. And I mean, I love it. And I was kind of got my butt in gear, and I was like, I have the opportunity to do an awesome sport, so I got it together and started putting in the work, and that's when I really changed my whole aspect of motocross.
If we're all honest, we all have doubts. And to realize that life is to be lived, that's what Jesse did, that's what Jake wants to do, that's what Ty wants to do, and I believe that's why most of these families are here. They enjoy what they're doing and to live life to the fullest, and that's what we do.
Pretty often, whenever it's like a good race and you just have that feeling, like, you know what I mean, those are the races you just know that God and Jesse are like, you know what I mean, like where you really feel it, but they're always there. So through the ups and downs, like, always got to give it up to him.
So it's wonderful, and we're wonderful to be here, and the families this is a family. You know, it's sometimes the competition can get fierce, but when push comes to shove, like it did in what a traumatic place in our life, because the community helped us tremendously through it, and had other people open their eyes in the process of realizing that enjoy the journey, enjoy every minute of it.
And there is Ty Masterpool celebrating on the podium, his brother watching. An incredible week for Ty, winning both the Super Mini 1 and 2 championships, marking himself as almost a locked-in future star of the sport. And now it's big brother Jake's shot in the final Open Pro Moto of the week, trying to get the victory. It's coming up next. This is it, the third and final moto of the week in Open Pro Sport. The 17 of Justin Cooper is the man holding the championship in his grasp. About a 4th place start for him. Dylan Greer with a whole shot. Ryder goes down in about 3rd place. So Dylan Greer is the one that's going to take advantage, and Justin Cooper was in that. He was not the rider that went down, but he got held up. Look, he's not with this lead pack right now.
That was a Suzuki rider that went down. First, I thought it could have been Masterpool, but he snuck away from that. So Masterpool sitting at about 6th place right now, coming to 10 Commandments.
Okay, so Dylan Greer with an opportunity to try to win a moto right now. Joey Crown, Mitchell Falk, some of the guys that could maybe take advantage and even steal the title from Cooper, because Cooper is about last place. He got tangled up with that rider that crashed, and that's what the 3-moto format is all about. To have 3 perfect starts, 3 perfect motos is almost impossible. You're gonna have your back against the wall at some point, and that's where Justin Cooper is right now.
At Loretta Lynn's too, it's not like a professional race where everything's happening so fast you don't have time to think about losing a championship or anything like that.
Oh yeah, a day or two can pass.
So yeah, so you could sit there for a day and a half thinking about, I can't blow this. So Cooper still making a charge through the pack, though. A lot of times coming through the pack, you're so focused on just passing the next guy, maybe it eliminates that for Justin Cooper, but he's been so solid all week. It's a tough task, but nothing that he can't handle.
I'd say he's got to get to around 4th or 5th to hold on for this title. Try to look at what happened here.
He's in about 5th place right now, and he decides to go into that inside roller, right where the Suzuki rider had fallen in front of him. So there's the Suzuki rider going down, and then Justin Cooper, right there on the binders. Actually tries to wheelie his bike. Not sure what ended up happening after that, but I imagine maybe a slight tip over. Now he's coming from way back in the field.
Another rider is out, but luckily doesn't look to be that banged up. So now the championship is up for grabs. We mentioned those first two motos. You saw all this battling with Falk and Crown. Oh! Jair Mitchell, I think that was, going for a ride. But all these riders who were up front battling in those first two motos that can make all the difference.
He got very lucky on this crash just because it was muddy and sloppy. Watch the front end, instead of hooking, he washes it. If he would have hooked on that one, pile drived him into the next one. That's what would have happened. But got away from that one, definitely.
Okay, so Dylan Greer in the lead. Now he's making his mistakes. Joey Crown has got a shot at this. If Crown can win this moto, he has a 5th and a 2nd in the first two. If he goes 5-2-1, that might be enough to wrestle the championship away from Justin Cooper, because Cooper was 18th on lap 1. Let's watch Greer here.
Oh, he just got on the other side of that little sand wall where they built the track up. That could have been disastrous. Luckily, he had enough momentum to skate across it.
Now, most people are going to say, why would you take the risk to go that far to the edge of the track?
Because it's the smoothest line.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing. This whole track, it starts off being one line.
Crown! Crown goes down. He was in. And you see the frustration, not hurt, but he knows if he could have won this moto, that would have been huge for his championship hopes.
Got up quick, rebounded. What just coming in here, looks like he just hit a couple little braking bumps. Didn't start leaning his bike in high side. It doesn't look like it on TV. These ruts are so deep, even in this section where you really can't tell the depth of them. If you start getting off on your lean angle, going the opposite way, that's all it takes to have a big crash just like that.
And here's a rider to watch, Max Markov. He was another one, supposedly with a pro deal locked in, a lot of hype with the Rocky Mountain KTM team. He has struggled this week. He is now right in front of Justin Cooper. So Markov was hoping to battle Justin Cooper this week, but not for tenths. He wanted to do it for the lead. Meanwhile, Jake Masterpool now finds himself maybe in title contention because Crown has crashed and Cooper has crashed, and Masterpool going for the lead, and he takes it away from Dylan Greer. This could be a 5-4-1 in the 3 motos for Masterpool, and maybe that's enough to win the title.
And think, after all the mistakes we've seen out of Masterpool this week, he's in a position to win the championship. So he just needs to try to stay smooth and consistent and take this one home, and hopefully, for his sake, Justin Cooper does not make it through the field as far.
Now, Masterpool probably also has no idea.
Not at all. Yeah, right now, if you're Masterpool, just focus on winning the race. Do not focus on what Justin Cooper's doing, because he's going to do what he's going to do.
We'll be right back. The Amateur National Motocross Championship at Loretta Lynn Ranch is brought to you by Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com. Get ready. And by Lucas Oil. Made in America, sold to the world. There's so much fun off the track here at Loretta's. This is summer vacation for the motocross families, but it gets darn serious on the track in these 3rd and final championship deciding motos. And right now, Jake Masterpool could win the coveted Open Pro Sport Championship because he's leading this 3rd race. And the guy who was leading in the points, Justin Cooper, is way back after an early mistake. Dylan Greer running 2nd. These are all riders that are between Masterpool and Cooper. It could open the door for Masterpool to get the title.
And Dylan Greer having a great 3rd moto here at Loretta's. There's nothing like, you've been struggling all week at Loretta's, and then being able to leave on a good note is huge. And another guy having that same 3rd moto is Jordan Bailey. He's had a struggle all week, and now we're seeing him come to life here in the 3rd moto. So let's see if Bailey on that Rockstar Husqvarna.
That's Masterpool. Masterpool, your leader down on the inside.
That's all it takes. You can have the moto well in control, and one little bobble, one little mistake, now he's stuck under his bike. You're losing tons of positions. Man, that final moto victory could have left on top. Now he's shaking his head, sitting in a rut.
Oh, the frustration. The championship and the moto win have absolutely slipped away with that one deep rut on the inside. Crown had it. He crashed. Masterpool crashed. Justin Cooper now potentially back in position to dig this out. But who's going to win the moto?
Like we said with Jordan Bailey, still making a strong charge up front. But Greer out front, what an impressive ride for Greer.
Yeah.
This guy is not even on the map with anything, and we are late into this moto, and he is winning it.
He could do it. Bailey has now finally made the pass on Falk. Bailey has been stuck with bad starts all week. He has great talent, great potential. That's well known. Rockstar Husqvarna very pumped on this kid. He's not in title contention because of the bad motos earlier, but if he could win this moto, that'd be big for him. Here's the pass on Falk.
Yeah, it looks like he just carries a little bit more momentum going into that outside line. Gets his leg out. That's the thing. With these ruts at Loretta, we don't know when they're going to start hooking out. And so the normal line that's great at the first of the moto can turn into just complete disaster by the middle or end. Jordan Bailey doing a good job of finding outside lines.
And he has now caught the leader, Dylan Greer. So Bailey running for a moto win, a good way to salvage what had been a bad week at the start. Can Greer hold him off? Whoa, big corner speed from Bailey.
You know, when you're Greer right now, it's just kind of like it's inevitable. You know, you're talking about guys who have rides set up. You know, he probably did not ever think he'd be in this position. And Bailey is going, there's no way I'm going to let this guy beat him. And he's going to try to charge outside through the sand rollers, keeping that front end light. And is he going to be able to sneak down the outside? Greer shuts him down. What a great move by Greer. Smart racecraft, putting that bike on the inside. But I'm telling you what, Weech, Jordan Bailey is not done, and he makes the pass stick by tripling around. And now we have a new leader, Jordan Bailey, keeping his charge alive, Weech.
Well, that's what I love about this race. You can see how badly these kids want it. Greer was doing everything he could. He was not relinquishing or submitting at all, but Bailey just was even more determined.
Now, like I said, it was a great fight by Greer. You know, you have a high-profile guy like Bailey coming up through. He didn't care. He was going to shut that inside line down, make him work for it. He did, but it was kind of inevitable. Bailey was charging, and he made his way towards the front.
And making his way towards the front. Look at this. Justin Cooper is now on the radar. Almost last on the first lap. 18th the next time around. Now he's 5th, trying to get Mitchell Falk for 4th. And I think a 1:15 and certainly a 1:14 would get it done. He will have overcome the adversity to win this title. He wants this pass.
And he does. He makes it stick. He gets there on the inside, shuts him down to where he doesn't even have the opportunity to make a charge back on the option. But, man, I tell you what, Joey Crown and Masterpool just left this thing wide open for him. They were the only two guys that really had a shot coming into the moto. And now it looks like Cooper's got another couple Yamaha riders in his sights. That's Greer and Alves. He could possibly make it all the way up to second place by the time this is all said and done.
Yeah, looking for at least a podium with the top 3. Those are the two men. You see Greer, then Remy Alves, DNF in the first moto of this class, so he's out of championship contention. He's just trying to make a name for himself. He'll want to hold off Cooper. So let's see what Cooper can do. Would Cooper's crew have the math figured out? Will they be able to relay to him that you don't need to make these passes, or at this point you just say, keep riding like you're riding?
You know what? He's been so in control and smooth. He hadn't had any sketchy moments. That's kind of one of the things. You don't even get in the guy's head. Just let him do his riding.
Okay.
He's doing it great this week. Don't tell him to back off, because when you start thinking about it is when it gets dangerous. But Remy Alves finding the fast line around the sweeper, trying to make a move on Greer. He does understand that if he's not going to put the pass on Greer, Justin Cooper is coming fast behind him. He's got to make that move and try to push forward. But Greer having a solid ride, pulling the whole shot in this one, and just having a killer ride all the way through. But we are coming close to end on this one.
What a race, what a moto. Jordan Bailey salvages something out of the week by winning this moto. Justin Cooper's going to fight through, and I think he got Alves on the line for 3rd. And most importantly, the 1:13 moto scores give him the title in Open Pro Sport. And remember, he was almost last at the beginning of this one, so he's proven he can do it from either the back or the front. And Jordan Bailey did the same this week, overcoming bad starts with the 250 against the 450s. This one had to feel good.
Yeah, you know, I got off to a good start being on a 250 in the 450 class and made some quick passes. The track is extremely rutted and tough, and I made it happen this moto. I'll take it. We've had an up and down week. We've had a great last day. I'm pretty sure this is my last race at Loretta Lynn's, and I wouldn't want to end it any other way.
Justin Cooper showing all the fight that he has, making a pass for that final spot on the podium in the moto. Didn't need it, but that's just the racer mentality, and it gives him a little bit of attitude there at the end.
Yeah, wasn't able to sweep this week, but I was able to stay pretty consistent and overcome some mistakes and end up on top. Yeah, the come from behind rides weren't the best, but it shows everyone what I can do, and I couldn't ask for any more. I'm so happy.
And just a week after this, Justin Cooper would prove he's for real with a podium finish in his professional debut in New York. And in our next show, we'll profile the youngest superstars at Loretta Lynn Ranch. But for now, thanks for watching.